Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Deborah, and look at the size of this beast that I'm dealing with. I've added the last signature in this morning, which is, let me see, this one here. So that's a brand new signature that I've put in, and I ended up putting some washi tape on. I also moved it at least an inch away from this one because it just wouldn't fit, so I had to move it away. And what I've ended up with in terms of my size of my spine is 4.5 inches. So I'm going to use some packaging because I don't have anything else that's big enough. Certainly don't have a book with a spine that's 4.5 inches. So I've just got this packaging and I've stuck that piece in, but I'm not sure how it's going to go. So I have another thing that I'm going to try and use to secure it in. I don't know how big this needs to be yet. I only know that it's nothing else that I've got that's going to be big enough, and you can see that when I do that it's massive. I also need some sort of closure because I'll have to have something to hold it together so that it doesn't just open up like that. So to start with, I need to stick these bits down here, and I also have cut a piece, or actually scored a piece, to go on the outside. So let's put this down and we'll see how that looks once it's down. And I'll do the outside piece. I think to there should be enough. So I've just scored this. This is a packaging and I've scored it so I've got this massive 4.5 inch spine, and I'm hoping that my idea of how to keep it all in the book is actually going to work. So I don't know yet whether it will work or not. It's so big I'm going to have to use my left hand to add the glue here. I suppose I could turn it round, but I've still got a heap of stuff on my table. I'm not sure if it's a good idea to start moving this around. Let's just put that down. I wanted to get this last signature in. It was a bit of a stretch, but I did manage to get it in. I also got some postcards and other things that I've done in there. So I'll show you through once I've got it all together. Now, the plan is to put down the outside piece. I'm not going to cut it off yet though. I really just want to see how it goes. So I've got this piece, which is another piece of Tim Holtz paper, and I've scored this so it's 4.5 inches wide, and I've just realised that maybe I should have scored it wider because 4.5 inch was my inside measurement. Let's see if it'll wrap around. It's just going to be fine, I think. Okay, so now I think I'm going to turn the other bits inside. That might be an idea to try and help keep it all together. And it's quite awkward to kind of film this and show you what I've done. So let's just see if I can get this to work. Okay, that might be okay. So I'll put this bit down. You can see how much wider. This is a 12 inch. I've not cut that down. This is about 10.5 inches, this piece. So I'm going to start by doing this and then turn it over. Actually, I may not even know. I'm going to have to turn it over on the inside for sure. Otherwise, it's definitely not going to work. So that's my whole spine piece there. And I want to just bring this up to make sure that it's a reasonably snug fit around the back of that spine. Yeah, as I suspected, I should have scored the paper a bit wider. I forgot that the inside of the paper and the outside of the paper will be different sizes. And I do want to move it up so it's there. I think that's good. And let me stick this down and do the inside bits, and then before I do anything else I'm going to add in these pieces that I wanted to add in to try and hold all this together, because I'm sure that just the glue alone is probably not going to hold it. I'm just hoping here that I've got that page up the right way. Let me check. Have I got that up the right way? It looks to be. Yep. I'd hate if my bugs were up the wrong way. And let's flip it on the other side. Like I said, it's very difficult to work with. I don't think I'm going to do one this large again. It was an experiment to use up all these gorgeous things that I'd made, but I really think maybe I'll stick to doing smaller journals now. I think I told you a couple of days ago I had this idea in my head. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to pull it off, and I'm probably still not terribly sure. We'll keep pushing forward. It's only a bit of paper. I can always pull it all apart if I want to and make it into something different. Now I really want to get that stuck down there. So I'm now going to turn these up. Okay, so with this I'm going to work out where that spine is, which is, where is it? There. Yep, I'm just going to trim this off like here, and then do the same on this side, which is, I think it's here. Because when I turn this piece up, hopefully you can see what I'm doing. When I turn this piece up, I'm not sure if it's going to be good enough to fold still. And I'd like to kind of turn this up so I can add the extra bit on. So I'll start by sticking this down and see how we go. This is only small too, because the whole thing is a 12-inch piece of paper, and this is 10, and I thought it was 10.5, but it might be bigger actually. Not sure how this will go. Just hold that there for a moment. And I've got some clips, or I've got a clip. I need some other clips, I think, to try and hold that on so that it doesn't peel back. And I think I'm going to have to run some sort of tape along there to hold it as well. I'll zip it around the other side gently and do the same here. Let's get all this lace. I think it's also exacerbated because I've got a lot of fabric in here. It certainly was more difficult actually doing the sewing the signatures in because of all the fabric. The needle kept catching on the threads of the fabric, and the wax thread also was catching on the threads of the fabric. Let's see if I can close it, which I can, only just. And now I'm going to put some thread in. Now I don't think this bit's long enough, no. If I don't use all of that, I just thread it around the spool so that I don't lose it and hopefully use it for something else. But in this instance, that's not going to work. I'm going to put a bit of thread down through here. If I can get it to go down. So the purpose of that was to ensure that this piece at the back, because it's so large, is pulled as tight as it can be to the actual spine of the journal. And there's the other side of it there. So I've just pulled them together and tied them off. I haven't put one through everything, and you can see that's sliding a little bit, but that's fine. It doesn't look too bad, and it's going to hold the whole thing together, she says, with her fingers crossed. So with the actual cover itself, I think I'm just going to use my scraps, because I've got a lot of these sorts of pieces. And I think that if I just sort of start putting them in there, now that is the score of the spine. So I'm going to have to make sure that I score that piece when I put it in. So I might go with a whole piece. I think this is 2 here. Yep, it is. So I might go with a whole piece like that so I can actually score it once it is in there. Now I'm just going to measure that so I can chop it off roughly where it goes up here. let's just chop this little bit, number 6 off, and then put this on. Maybe I was better off to cover the outside at least before I put the rest of the paper, the actual, put this in, but it doesn't matter, I've done it now. Let's move on. So I'll pop this down, and then I'm just going to sort of layer the papers on top of one another for the rest of the cover. Certainly on the inside. The outside, I've got another thing that I'm going to put on there. I'll score that afterwards. I'll do that later. I think I'll keep it up this way. I'm wondering if I can put that clip back on it. Where's that clip? Here. If I put this big clip back on it, it's probably just going to fall down. Okay. Oh, there you go. That's got stuck, so that's good. And then I'll just start layering. So I've got these sorts of things. There's no reason why I have to use the actual scrapbook papers, you know, the single ones like I've done here. I can use some of these pieces that I've made. That's probably a little bit too big though. I don't want to sort of overwhelm the page with heaps and heaps of stuff on here, you know, big stuff. I'd rather have little stuff on here. I also want to take it out to the edge. So I'm thinking whether I now actually overlap that edge a bit, because I do have it overlapped here. So I have to make sure that I've put something on the outside as well. Like maybe I'll do that one and put it over on the outside. So I'll just chop this off. And that can go there. Now I think I'm going to overlap that little bit there. Maybe I'll just put it down. I can always put something on top of it later, can't I? And give it quite a good edge so that it comes out and overlaps. So I'll just run that scoring tool down there and down there so I know where it's got to overlap. And now I can cut into that corner, and hopefully that will overlap and look good for me when I put it around the other side. So just glue on one side here on this piece, not the flaps as yet. So I've still got to cut them, twist them around the other side, and then I can stick them down. So is that going to go there, like that and like that? That's good. Okay. Just give it a rub. Rub it with my score tool, it's easier than my hand. What have I got here? Okay, I've got this little piece, it's got some fabric on it and some other things, a bit of stamped linen and stuff like that on there. So I can overlap them. I don't have to have them butted up against like that. I can overlap that one over there. That's what I'll do. This is a piece that I've sewn, but it still should be fine. And it's using up these scraps. I've still got a heap of stuff that has to go into the journal itself that I haven't yet done. That one was a bit big, that one's a bit big too. Got that piece there. Maybe I can put that sort of here. Okay, I may go back and put some stuff over the top of these edges as well when I'm done. I don't want that there because that's all pieces. I need something solid to go onto this edge here. But I can actually put some other bits and pieces down. I went for a ride this morning. It's looking like it's a bit overcast now, but it was lovely this morning, so I took the bike out for a ride and went down and got the mail because I hadn't heard from one of the recipients of the Happy Mail from June and July. I did hear from one person who sent me a lovely message, and I put that on the Facebook group if you want to see that. But I hadn't heard from the other person, so I thought that was really strange. So I sent her a message last night or this morning, and she got back to me and said that it had only arrived yesterday, and that's why she hadn't got back to me. So I was getting a bit worried that it had gone astray in the mail, but no, it hadn't. So now it's it'd be the August one will be the next one. Because there's a piece I've got which, here it is. I want to put this on the front cover like that. So I do need to put a bit more paper on the top of this first before I do that. I wonder if that would be enough if I did that. Yep, that's going to be enough. I'm using both double-sided tape and glue to stick this onto the cover. I think of just, belt and braces. I think that's probably quite wise. I don't want it falling off. Just get all this tape off and put some glue on and then put it down. And I just put this brown dotty ribbon on. I had it, I like it, so I thought I may as well put that on as opposed to anything else. All right, so I'm going to finish off the back cover, and then tomorrow I'll come back and I'll fill it all up, and then I'll do a flip through, and you can give me an opinion on whether or not you think it's too big, or whether or not you're going to try and use all your stuff like this, or whatever else you want to tell me. That'll be fine. All right, so for now, this is Deborah. Thanks for watching. Cheers.